This here is a lovely leather sofa, and it was going to be binned, and I don't need it, but what I need is the leather and the other inside guts. Now this is an electronically controlled recliner, so if you hit the wee button on the side, feet kick up and the back goes down. So I'm going to take out the motor, strip everything and turn it into a big bucket of leather. So we're going to start by taking off the back, flipping it over, and removing the electronics. So we can start by removing the up-down controller, and just have to take these screws out. With the screws removed off of the little control plate, we can slash open this side, and that will give us full access to the lead, and we can follow it, pull it out of all these cable ties. There we go. And then disconnect it from the control box. And now I can disconnect the motor and the control box and the rest of the electronic mechanics. Now I can just straight up lift out the motor and the control box, and that's it gone. Next I'm going to remove the plastic feet and these two support bars. Now I'm going to remove the two big springs at the back and the two small springs at the front. With all the springs removed, I can now lift out the entire metal frame. So with those 6 mounting bolts and 4 mounting screws gone, now the metal frame should just lift off. And now the bit you've definitely been waiting for, the harvesting. Now I've found that the quickest way to get all of the leather is to go along every single seam and just cut everywhere, and you'll end up with lots of small pieces and you won't end up with any seams like this, but that leaves you with tons of wee tiny bits. So instead what I've found the more efficient, more efficient as in you get larger chunks, but it takes more time and precision, but it is better, you cut them out in really large sheets. So I think on the other one I ended up with the entire sofa in 4 or 5 pieces of large sheets of leather. That's pretty good, so we're going to do it that way. So we're going to start up here with this seam. Now this is a hidden seam, so unlike these or these here, it's not a snazzy type of seam. So if we pull the leather taut, we can sort of see a few wee strands that holds it all together. So you just take a sharp blade, and you want to be very careful that you're cutting in between, and you want to apply a lot of pressure. Although you're applying a lot of force, you have to be very careful to go slowly, because if you go too fast, the blade will catch and pull up like this, and that'll give you a big nasty gash. So if we put down a lot of force, you'll hear like a popcorn popping sound, and that's all the threads being cut. Now once you've got a piece like this where you've cut fully through, it'll be a lot easier to cut because now you've got somewhere to start from. And and you want to constantly be applying force, pulling the leather apart, which makes it easier to cut through the threads. Now if I fold back this piece in here, you can see, well, first a lot of hair. That's because previous owners were also dog owners. But you can see that the leather doesn't cover the entire couch. They have this sort of felt material in the hidden areas to save money. So what you can do, or what I find is best, is if you cut right along the edge here, along this seam, so the leather actually overlaps into the felt. And if you once you've cut through fully in the first bit, just getting that first bit cut the whole way through is quite difficult, but once you get that, the rest is easy. Oh, there we go. Funny enough, look, there's the stitchings come off, and I can just pull back the felt. Now the third type of seam on this couch is this sort here, and that's the stitching of the felty sort of stuff on the leather, but on top of that there are staples the whole way along. Now you could try and undo the staples, but again it just takes a lot of time and it's not really worth it. So instead I just cut right along the edge of the felt and the leather and try and dodge the staples so not to dull the blade. And it does give you a rough edge, but that's alright, you know. So we're just going to run the blade right along the length, pressing very hard but going nice and slow to keep control. There we go. If you press hard enough, you can actually get through it in one straight run. So by using all these techniques to cut around all the different edges, I've been able to remove this whole piece as one piece. So I've removed pretty much everything from this sofa. This is it. This is all of the leather I've collected from a 3-seater sofa and 2 1-seater sofas. And I've no idea how you would regularly measure leather. Right down here in the bottom of the frame there are 4 T-nuts, although these aren't T-nuts, they're basically T-nuts, but they're not. So I'm going to take those out. And I have a special device I've made for it. So the whole thing of the leather. So this is the device I've created. It's a piece of wood with a bolt in it, and I call it a T-nut puller. And as you can guess, it pulls out the T-nut. So I've weighed it, simply put it on top, of leather I have screw in the bolt, 13 kilograms. And 13 kilograms. Look, that is a lot. There we go. T-nut out. So aside from the leather, one of the main things I got was these. Now I just need to sort them. And so here is the haul. I am pretty impressed. I kind of forgotten what was in the bucket. My complete random estimate of value here, I'm guessing about £10, because springs aren't so cheap, or threaded inserts, and especially these plastic feet, and then the rest are just bolts and even some wood screws. But I can't complain, it was all free, just took a bit of labour. So this here is the big chunky electric motor which I've taken out of the sofa, and how it works is there's an electric motor, and the motor turns a screw inside here which then slides this plastic piece here up and down. So I have a little remote control here, and if I just press the up arrow, away she goes, and then backwards, and up again, and back, and up, and back, and up, and back. So I have 4 of these, and I have no clue what I'm going to do with them, but they are very cool. And this is it. This is all of the leather I've collected from a 3-seater sofa and 2 1-seater sofas. And I've no idea how you would regularly measure leather, probably an area. So I've weighed it, and the total amount of leather I have weighs 13 kilograms. 13 kilograms! Flip! That is a lot. Now, I currently have pretty much no clue what I'm going to do with this amount of leather. I have a few things in mind, like maybe a belt and some handles. I don't know, but 13 kilograms, certainly not. Now, this is an incredible amount of leather, and I have no clue what I'm going to do with any of it. So if you have any ideas, go ahead and leave them down in the comments, and I'll probably get to it and make some stuff. I don't know how to stitch or sew or properly cut leather. I'll maybe get some handy tools for making belts and what, but we'll see. I mostly work with woodworking, so I'll have a video here and you can look at something I did there, and you can subscribe here if you want, or